Hi guys! So today I'm going to teach you how to do some embroidery hoop Christmas ornaments. And here's some that I've already made. We're just going to jump right into it. So we're going to go over the things that you're going to need to do this. First you're going to need embroidery hoops. And I'm using 3-inch hoops. I like the size. It's not too big. It's not too small. 4 inches is another common size. But I went with a 3, especially if you're going to hang them on a Christmas tree. You don't want them to be too big, but you could do this as big as you wanted. I mean, you could do 12-inch hoops or larger to hang them on your front door. You're going to need fabric, and this is a pack of 40 different fabric squares that I got from Amazon, and I'll drop a link in the description for this. But you get a bunch of different patterns. They're all very Christmassy patterns that I love. So you're able to do some different patterns. You could also go to the fabric store and buy fabric by the yard. But again, I'll drop a link for this, but you get 40 of them, and they're cut at 5 inches. They're pre-cut, so that's just one less step that I have to worry about. And I'm using some stiff black felt for the backs of my ornaments. You can see that I finished it off with the felt on the back, and I like the stiff one because it just has more body to it, and I feel like it's a little bit more protective. It's 99 cents for a 12 by 18 sheet at Hobby Lobby. And you can see it's pretty stiff. And then I am using this jute rope as the hanger for my ornaments. You could use ribbon or anything else that you wanted. And then I chose to get some Christmas picks from Hobby Lobby as well. All of these, I think, pretty much the entire season are 50% off. So these are 50 cents a piece with the discount. And use these at the top, but you could put anything you wanted. You could make your own bows, you could do some curly ribbon, you could cut off pieces of like evergreen and glue those on there, whatever you want to do. And then I'm using an X-Acto knife to trim my fabric, tacky glue to glue my felt. I'm going to use a hot glue gun to attach these. And of course we've got our easy press and pressing pad for that. So let's jump right into this. Move some of this stuff out of the way. And I've bought several different brands of the embroidery hoops on Amazon. I'll drop the links for all of the ones that I purchased. They come in different quantities, 12, 16, 20, and they're all pretty much the same. You can see there's a slight color variation between the two, but it's really however many you want is what the one you're going to buy. So let's go ahead and turn on our easy press. I am actually using the new Starcraft Soft Flex heat transfer vinyl from 651 Vinyl. It's a new matte heat transfer vinyl that just came out, and I absolutely love it. I'll drop a link to that as well. But we're going to put our easy press on medium. So while that heats up, let's pick a couple fabrics here. And originally I had done some of my designs with a with a gold heat transfer vinyl. And that worked really well on these white ones. But this time I just cut them all in white. So I'm going to pick some colors where the white is going to show up a little better. So we're going with some of these darker ones here. Let's just grab a couple of these. And I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, I have gone ahead and cut and weeded my heat transfer vinyl. I did this earlier today, and so what I do is when I have to weed my vinyl ahead of time, I have this little binder, and it's full of page protectors. And so after I weed my heat transfer vinyl, I just stick it on the page protectors, and then it stays in there. It's not going anywhere. It's protected. It works really good when I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff at once. I can stick it on both sides. And with like glitter heat transfer vinyl or flocked or things like that that don't have that real sticky background, I just stick them inside. And it keeps them protected and I don't lose them. So I've got quite a few here that I've gone ahead and cut. Just for the ease of everything, I'm going to take these out of here. And you could have as many pages in here as you wanted. And so our heat press is preheated. So let's grab our pillow, and this is a Nightcappa Easy Press mat. I think Cricut makes one as well. A couple other companies have them on Amazon. I'll drop links for this down below, but this just protects my surface and also helps with the heat when you're pressing. And I believe this is a 10 by 10 or a 12, I guess maybe a 12 by 12. Yeah, 12 by 12. And I have some Teflon sheet, and I just cut it down with my guillotine cutter because I don't need big, huge pieces while I'm pressing. So I'm not going to worry about these little frayed edges because we're going to cut those off anyway. So I'm going to lay out a couple of my pieces here. And I'm going to pick the designs that I want to put on there. And I got my, the first set that I made, I designed the SVGs myself. I've actually got them up on Etsy, and I'll drop a link for that. And then I got some others from Design Bundles and a Silhouette Design Store and Creative Fabrica, or some other places that I've gotten them. So I will put links for all of that in the description. So I'm just kind of centering these on the square. It's not a huge deal that you get it in exactly the right spot. And I'm just peeling these right off of that backing. But because we're going to kind of center it on the ring and then trim, if it's not exactly center, you just need to make sure there's enough room around it to hoop it. Okay, so we're going to press these for about 10 to 15 seconds a piece. And with the Easy Press Mini, I do have a video on the Easy Press Mini. You just kind of want to move it around while you're doing it. It's not like using a home iron where you have to basically stand over the thing and press down with all your might. You just want to go over it. And the Teflon sheet is really more to protect the heating element on your press than anything else. So we're just going to go over these. And I really love this Soft Flex. It does press at a lower temperature. If you're using your heat press, it presses at, I believe it's 290 for 10 seconds, or 280 for 10 seconds. So it's really quick and easy, and it has a beautiful matte finish to it. This one over here. But I really like this. I mean, I could definitely use my heat press, but I don't see the point in heating up the whole entire heat press just to do a couple of these. Okay, and this is a peel warm heat transfer vinyl. It should still be warm enough to remove. So we're just going to remove that backing there. You can see how well this, oh that's hot, how well this has adhered. But look at that gorgeous matte finish. I just love it. Okay, so now that we have these done, let's free up some space here. I'm actually done with my Easy Press Mini. We're going to turn that off. Move this out of the way. The next thing I'm going to do is hoop these. So before you hoop them, especially if you're using all of them, I went ahead and cut my square or my circles. And what I did was, they're 3-inch hoops, but the 3 inches is actually the diameter inside this circle. So I took one apart and I laid it down on my felt. And then I drew around it, and I used fabric marking pencil. So like if you were marking seams and stuff, when you when you use these, it's real easy to see. Comes in white and silver and blue, a bunch of different colors. But I just went around the hoop and I did that through the whole thing, and then I cut it out with my scissors. You could also use your Cricut or your Cameo or whatever you wanted to do to cut these out, but I was watching TV and just sat and cut them while I was doing that. So what we're going to do is take this bottom hoop and we want to center our design, and it's a little difficult to do flat down, so if I hold it up I can see through it. So I can kind of see through the fabric, and I'm going to set it down. And then I'm just going to set this on top, make sure I've got the top piece here lined up. Push it down flat. And then I'm going to tighten this screw. I want to get it nice and tight because I don't want that fabric coming out. And that's all there is to it. So again, you want to loosen it up enough that you can slip it over the fabric. Just going to kind of hold this up so I can see through my hoop. Lay it down. Line up that screw at the top and tighten it down. Okay, so now that you have them all hooped, what you want to do is you want to trim the back. And you could do a couple different things. You could trim it close with scissors and then tuck it in and hot glue it. You could take the whole thing and tuck it in. Some people like to put like some fiber fill inside to kind of give it some body to it. You can do it however you want. There's many different ways that you can trim off and finish the back. This is just the way that I've chosen to do it, so it's not the only way. You can do it however you want. Get a craft knife and get one with a nice fresh blade. Don't ever use a blade longer than you need to. Once they get dull, they get dangerous and they're not going to cut as well. You can get, this is a pack of 120 blades. I got it on Amazon for like 10 bucks. So make sure you're changing your blade out very regularly. And I'm just going to stick that right through there and start trimming. And I might actually need to replace my blade. Yeah, see, I'm not cutting. So if you've never done this before, this craft knife is from 651 Vinyl. You can get them on Amazon or the hobby store. I'm just going to grab a new one here. We all know fabric is very picky. So if we don't use our shears, fabric shears with paper and things like that. Okay, so once you have a sharp blade, there we go. Makes all the difference. And I'm just going to go around the hoop and trim it right down. Go all the way around. And you know, some people might say that it's going to fray the fabric. The fabric is inside that hoop pretty tight. It's not coming out. So I'm not really worried about that. Plus I'm going to glue. So I'm just going to go around, being attacked by heat transfer vinyl carrier sheets here. I'm going to go around and do this to each one. So while I'm doing this, I'm kind of holding the hoop down with my hand and then pulling up on the fabric with my thumb and my index finger just to kind of give it a little tension to trim that off. So now that we have them all trimmed off, our next step is to glue the circles on the back. So again, I've cut these down. It's a little bigger than 3 inches. I would just measure the outside of that hoop if you're going to cut them with your machine. And I'm going to use the Aleene's tacky glue that has worked well for me. I really like this bottle that stands up. And I'm just going to go around here with a little bead of glue all the way around. And I'm trying to stay on that inner ring It's going to smush a little bit when I put the felt on. So I don't want to carry it all the way to the edge. Just going to put that on, center this little piece here. And then I'm going to flip it over and kind of press on it. There we go. Okay, so those are ready. This is so easy. Alright, so then I have my floral picks, and again, I just picked these up at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, anywhere like that. And you just want to, I actually took one of these to the store with me to kind of size out everything. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to hold my pliers right here, and I'm going to bend. So I'm kind of putting a right angle on that. And again, there's many different ways that you can do this. This is just how I chose. I'm going to go ahead and heat up my glue gun. Let's get that going. And I'm going to stick it right through this little hole right here. Actually, I'm going to take a step back. I'm getting ahead of myself. So the next thing we need to do is to put our hanger ribbon on there. You want to do that before you glue anything on there, because the glue is going to also help hold the ribbon in place. And so I'm just going to cut a piece, and what I do is I just loop right through here, grab my two ends, and then tie a knot. And I don't worry about double knotting. I don't want a big huge knot. Again, I'm going to glue that knot. This one's a little short, let's see. Tie that down, and I'm going to trim it. It's going to get hot glue on it, so I'm not worried about it coming unraveled. So there's our first one. Again, loop it through. And then of course make your string the length that you're going to want to have it for wherever it is you plan on displaying. Again, just trim that down. Again, I got this from Hobby Lobby as well. Mixed media jute rope, $2.99 for a big old thing. I've already done 12 ornaments with it. There's more than enough to do at least 2 dozen more. So pull that real tight. If you're not going to be doing any kind of hot glue or anything, I wouldn't trim it that close. You can see this one still has some of this blue. These some of these come with like a blue plastic over the metal to protect it. Some of them don't, and I just go through and pull all that off. Just keeps the metal from getting scratched up. Okay, so we have our strings, and I'm going to position it so that that knot is down here on the back. Alright, so we're going to take our garland that we've bent in half. I'm going to stick it through here and kind of get it where I want it. Make sure that I'm doing this where you can see it, that my string is also in the right place. I kind of try to shove it in the hole with the back of that, and then I'm going to fold it up around. Okay, I'm going to get everything where I want it here. These are all wire, so you can kind of bend them however you want them. And I'm going to take I'm just using some flush cutters. You could use anything you have around that'll cut it. Oh, we went flying. And I'm just going to cut the back of that. You don't want to cut it. You don't want to cut it way up here, or all your pieces are going to come off. So I wait until I've put it in and then I cut it. Okay, so we have it in there. Let's see if the glue gun's ready. Those Teflon sheets are great for using under your glue gun as well. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to, again, make sure that my little string here, and I'm just going to kind of fill in this area with hot glue. And try to stay neat about it. You don't want it to be all sloppy. Control that string there. I'm just going to let that cool. So again, take your piece, and I'm just using some needle nose pliers here. Bend that. Stick it through the hole. Bend that tail up as much as I can. When you snip it, make sure you don't snip your cord. And again, and this just keeps everything in place. You could use any kind of glue you wanted. I like the hot glue gun, so I'm going to go with that. Again, so like you could buy some garland and cut that and glue it to it. Another thing you can do is, a couple of them I just trimmed it close and just glued it on the front. I didn't like that as much, but it's a definite possibility. Go through the hole. Should probably be wearing safety glasses for that. Again. And I know usually when I post a video I always get a couple comments telling me how I should have done something. So I'm just going to reiterate that this is the way that I'm doing it. If you have a better way or think of something better, by all means do it whichever way you want. You do not have to do it the way that I'm doing it. That is the fun thing about this, is that there are many, many different ways to accomplish very similar results. So one more. And I will drop the links for everything that I use down below. So if you need to know where to get anything, it will be there. A little glob of not quite melted glue on there. Okay. So once we have that, then the glue starts to dry. You can see that it starts to turn white again. I'm just going to flip it over, and again, these are all on wire, so you can kind of reposition your stuff. And get everything where you want it. And that's all there is to it. Just get it how you want it, and that's it. You're done. That is very quick and easy. This whole video is taking me less than 30 minutes. Much faster when I'm just going through and doing a bunch of them all at the same time. So you could easily knock a dozen of these out in just a couple hours, including cutting and weeding your vinyl. But that's it. Finished. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I will again put links for everything. Here's some more. The files for these are on Etsy. It's a set of 12 different files. They're kind of adult themed, kind of a snarky Christmas. I just see so much warm and fuzzy Christmas that I wanted to throw a little bit of snark out there, because that is kind of my jam. So you can see with all the different patterns of fabric, there really are a very unique set. So again, you can see the black circle. You can see the hot glue here on the back where I attached this one. One of these I just trimmed it and glued it right to the front. So you can't really see it when it's hanging, but if you get up close you can see it. But that was another option. I just glued it right on the front of the ornament there. So that's it. These would make a great gift if you're doing gifts for the office, gifts for teachers, gifts for friends, to decorate your own tree. If you're doing an ornament swap, super easy. You could do family names. You could do baby's first birthday with the date. You can make a new one every year with a different fabric. Would be really cool for your kids. Lots of different ideas with this. And again, you could get a very large hoop, like a 12-inch hoop or a bigger hoop, and do something to hang on your front door or hang on the wall or something like that. So a lot of possibilities. Links for everything will be down below. If this helped you out, I would love it if you would like and comment and subscribe to my channel. That helps me out. And hop over to my Facebook page at facebook.com/ElleBee Creates and show me pictures of what you made. I'd love to see it. If you have any questions, just drop them below. And thanks for watching. Bye, guys.